Hello. I don't think anyone could deny that these are strange and challenging times indeed. So much so that I can't work from my normal studio. So, for the next few videos, I hope you'll forgive me not appearing all the way through. That may be a bonus, as much as a drawback, but you'll get my audio and you'll get my normal slides, plus a contact point where you can raise any questions. I hope you still enjoy the videos, and once we're through this crisis, I look forward to rejoining you from the usual spot. Welcome to this Killick Explains. This time I want to take on how to fix your finances. Quite a big topic, and I'm going to use it as a way to introduce my newly updated 2021 Killick Explains guides. So the background to this is what? Well, the investing and planning worlds are completely dominated by jargon, to the extent it can be quite hard for people of all ages to know exactly where to start. And that's why basically I've written 6 neutral Killick Explains guides. These are educational, there's no sales material in them, no application forms. They're designed purely to give it to you straight, essentially, in terms of how stuff works. Now, a word about the length of them. These guides are about 30 to 50 pages each, depending on the topic. They are meant to be detailed enough to be useful. There is no point in getting somebody to download or read something where they think straight away, oh dear, I knew all this stuff or I've learned nothing. But short enough to be palatable to a novice or a more experienced investor alike. These are not designed to create an army of DIY investors and planners, but they are designed, hopefully, to get you to a level of knowledge where you might feel comfortable taking things a little bit further. Now, the guides, there are 6 of them, are split into 2 batches. The first 2 are what I call background knowledge, generic guides if you like. So how do these work? Well, these cover general stuff that all savers and investors ought to really know about. So there's one called How to Invest in Equities, which, as the name suggests, covers what equities are, what their benefits are, the main ways of buying and holding them, some of the common pitfalls, and even gets into how to analyse company accounts at a fairly basic level. Then you've got a guide on how to save and invest tax efficiently, because most people want to save and invest in a tax effective way. So that one covers the principles only of income tax, capital gains tax and inheritance tax, and looks at some ways to minimise them over your lifetime as a saver or investor. So ISAs are in there, pensions are in there, and 1 or 2 other things besides. Now, once you've mastered those, then you've got what I call the key decision point guides. So these are structured round key points in life where people tend to need to focus fairly heavily on how they're going to plan their way out of a set of challenges. So let me explain what I mean. There's saving and investing for a family. So there's a guide that basically looks at the life cycle of a child, if you like, all the way from birth through to leaving university, and asks the question, and there's some difficult questions in there, how are parents supposed to pay for all that? And what are the key stages? How much help's available from the state? How much are we expected to do? And so on. Then there are 2 guides built around saving for life after work and generating an income after work. 2 separate guides, one on how to accumulate a decent pot, if you like, that will either supplement when you downgrade your working week, so maybe you go from 5 days to 3, or may even release you from work altogether, depending on who you are, how much you earn, your ambitions and so on. And then there's a guide on generating an income after work, which is saying how do you maximise the amount of income that you get from what could be a wide portfolio of assets in a way that will enable you to achieve your post-work goals and leave a decent legacy. And then finally there's a guide specifically on planning for later life, and that deals with issues such as thinking about funding the long-term cost of care. It also has some guidance on what to do when someone dies, and the sorts of conversations that family members across generations ought to be having to make that later phase of life as enjoyable and secure as possible. So, lots of information, 6 guides, all designed to be readable no matter who you are, whether you work in financial services, whether you've never come across financial services before. And if you'd like a copy, well, there are hard copies available, but actually you can get hold of these things in lockdown in particular by digital. And what I mean by that is you can either contact an advisor and ask them to send you, and there are various choices in terms of the way it's delivered, a digital guide or the whole series. You can email me, address coming up as a reminder, or you can go to killick.com/how-to and it's how-to. So that's killick.com/HOW/2. So there's 3 options. And I said I'd mention my email address. That is editor@killick.com. I very much hope you enjoy the 2021 guides, and I hope you'll find them useful in terms of equipping you for some key decisions that we all have to make at various stages throughout our lives.